Hi, I'm Austin Christopher Bradley, and welcome back to Poor Man's MBA Season 2, where we learn how to compete with our highly educated peers. I want to talk to those of you who feel stuck in your jobs that don't live up to the truth of who you are or measure up to what you're capable of. I've told my career story before, but not in its entirety. And I think it's important for you to know where I came from, how long it took, and how steep that climb was. When I was 12, I started working as a costume character at children's birthday parties, and I had an alter ego, Cosmo the Clown. So I would travel through Middle Georgia to make balloon animals and paint faces and just be a real character. I had a few more jobs in high school. I was a singing ice cream scooper at Cold Stone Creamery. Actually, at Cold Stone Creamery, we pulled the ice cream, so I was an ice cream puller. I pulled it. My biggest professional lessons didn't come until later, after I'd left high school and entered college. And my first role was at Hardee's in Florala, Alabama, as a cashier first and then a shift manager. I spoke a little bit about this in the Ask for What You Want episode from last season. I was the proud assistant manager of Hardee's in Florala, Alabama, where I got there at 3 a.m. every day to let the biscuit maker in. But it's important that I bring this back up because I learned two really important lessons in this role. One was, of course, ask for what you want, which is how I got that shift manager position. But the other one is to make yourself uncomfortable and find comfort in the discomfort. And what I mean by that is, if you know me, you know that I'm not a morning person. And I had to be there at 3 a.m. every morning to open up the store. But what was more impactful than that is that I was in a small town in Alabama, and the experience from being amongst the locals wasn't that supportive for me. And I got a lot of ridicule from both the people that worked for me and the people I worked for, and of course, the townsfolk. But I worked through that, and I moved on to my next role, taking those lessons with me. My next role is at Ruby Tuesdays as a server, and the lesson I took from that is that energy and attitude have a direct correlation to the money you're making or the tips that you have in hand. And you take that into your business or into your career, and while you don't get that immediate gratification from the tips, the level you're performing at in your company and in your career is determined by your attitude and your energy. Next, I worked as a cashier at As Seen on TV, and then as the merchandise director, where I traveled from store to store, assessing their displays, and then also recreating popular demonstrations for like the ShamWow and Ab Rocket. This was actually one of the biggest lessons in my career. And the lesson is that while you might be good at something, if you're not passionate about it, and you don't find any fulfillment in it, you're not gonna be good at it. I was fired from that role because I was slacking, because I didn't care at all about what I was doing. So at this time, I was in my third year of college, and I wasn't really finding any purpose or fulfillment in the work that I was doing or what I was doing in school. And so I made the choice to move to New York City. So I moved here without a job or a plan, because why the hell not? And my first job was as a waiter at IHOP in downtown Brooklyn. And there's a funny story there. The day before I started at IHOP, I ran out of money completely. Not a dollar, not a penny to my name. So I actually had to hop the turnstile to get to IHOP for my first shift. I found out when I got there that I wouldn't actually be making any money for my whole first week. So I had to hop the turnstile about 10 more times to get to and from work. After that, I got a job at Uno Pizzeria in Astoria to be closer to my apartment. And I worked there for about 2.5 years, while I also co-hosted karaoke at a bar in Astoria for about $50 a week. At that time, I'm about 23 years old. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I had moved up here with kind of the idea of maybe pursuing performing, but to be honest, I met a lot of people who were much older than me that were still struggling in the performance industry, and I realized that that's not my passion. It was a hobby, it was something I liked to do. So I had to come up with a plan. How was I going to survive in this world? How was I gonna make money? How was I gonna find myself here? My friend told me that he was gonna get his real estate license, so I was just like, okay, yeah, me too. I ended up working at this real estate firm, and I became an agent, but the role of an agent at this firm was I had to post all of these fake ads to get the clients and then bait and switch them to something else. I'm sorry to all of my clients, that is how I was trained. I was miserable doing it, but that was the game that you had to play to survive, or at least that's how I was trained. I hated doing it. I hated facing my clients after I'd lied to them. So what I started doing was advertising, getting the clients, and then referring them to other agents in the firm, which was not very lucrative. So I pivoted to a role within real estate to office administration in that same real estate office. The role only paid about $24,000 a year, which is not a lot of money in New York City, but I liked it and I was good at it. I'd been in the office administrator position for several months when my manager confided in me that he was going to leave to start a real estate tech startup, and he invited me to come along with him. This was big for me. This is the first time in my life that I got an opportunity because I was good at something, and it felt really good. So I joined Tripleman in September of 2013. I was 24 years old and I was brought on as the social media associate, which was the lowest level position in the company. I knew that I had to come and improve myself. I was already competing against the Ivy League grads that had started the business, and my good friend Tyler, who was my manager that came over, who was a pro in this industry. So I had to do more and I had to work harder, and I knew that going into it, and that's what I did. After a year, we were 20 people and I was promoted to marketing associate. About a year after that, we were 50 people and I was promoted to marketing and operations manager. Another year and a half goes by, we were 85 people and I was promoted to marketing operations director, which pivoted into the role of director of special projects. About 2 years go by, we're 130 people, and I've just been promoted to senior director of business operations. Now we're a team of 150 plus. I've seen this company through every iteration and they've seen me through the same. So how was I able to grow at Tripleman? So 1, I made sure everyone knew that I was there to grow. 2, I did my work well and took on other work and did that well too. 3, I learned to work with, work on, and work for my team members and not treat them like they work for me. Number 4, I realized my limitations and I wasn't scared to stay late to catch myself up on whatever I needed to know to complete the work that I needed to complete. And number 5, I never acted too good to do the work that needed to be done, even if it wasn't my work to do. I've learned hundreds, if not thousands, of lessons from Tripleman, but it was in those early roles that I primed myself for Tripleman. Without Cosmo the Clown, CVS, Cold Stone Creamery, Ruby Tuesdays, As Seen on TV, Uno, Pizzeria, I would have never learned the lessons I needed to get into the door of Tripleman. If you feel like you're stuck in those types of jobs that I felt stuck in, look for your lessons. Name your lessons. You might be overlooking the lessons that you need to learn to propel yourself into your next opportunity. It took me a decade of working before I found an opportunity that fed my curiosities and gave me opportunities to make mistakes so I could grow myself. I didn't start here and I may not finish here, but I'm juicing this orange as long as there's juice left in it for me. And now, my magical unicorn darlings, take back the power that's yours. Ask for what you want, keep a positive attitude, lean into the discomfort, look for work that you find fulfillment in, and Google everything. The world is at your fingertips. Your dreams are still too small for what you're capable of. If you feel stuck in a job or need a balloon animal made or maybe your face painted, please reach out. The skills are still there and I'm here to help. Like, comment, share. I'm Austin Christopher Bradley and this is Poor Man's MBA. But I'm gonna juice this orange as long as there's juice left for me to juice. That doesn't make sense. But as long as there's juice left in the orange, wait, what? But as long as there's juice left in the orange, I'm going to keep juicing it? What? That's not even what I'm trying to say, it's right there. But as long as there's juice left in the orange, they still f***ed it up.